Okay guys, so I'm gonna try to jump right into this. I promise you this whole entire story is absolutely true. I'm holding nothing back. Yes, I am ashamed of how it went down. At the end, I am totally grateful. All's forgiven. The baby's the love of my life, right? But this is how it really went down. I gotta be real. Everything is no holds barred, right? So, my baby mom and I, we weren't planning this pregnancy, okay? To be fair, my baby mom had that birth control thing in her arm, and she had to get like upgraded or or fixed or a brand new one, or I don't know what happened. But one way that she had to get it replaced, right? So when we got it replaced, the doc was like, hey, for 2 weeks, don't do anything, right? And we're like, okay, it's all cool. However, we were newly together, right? And we still partying. Alcohol was a huge factor, of course. And when alcohol is a factor, things go down. And yeah, things went down, and boom, Bob's your uncle. Next thing you know, we're expecting, right? So as far as the pregnancy, the term was all 3 terms or whatever was good. It was pretty normal, except for the fact that my baby mom, she had like all these weird urges for like random foods, like peanut butter, this cucumber pickle combo, you name it, man. All the weird stuff. She was like fiending for it. However, when I would get it, she wouldn't eat it because it made her nauseous. So I ended up eating most of these things, and then the dad bod became a factor of my life, and still is a factor of my life. Thank you. Anyways, fast forward to the pregnancy, right? So the day of the pregnancy, my baby mom was experiencing those Braxton Hicks contractions or whatever, and so every 3 minutes she was in pain, man, and she was dealing with this all day and just hurting, taking long baths and everything she could, all the little tricks we could find on YouTube and what friends would tell us. She was trying so she can ease that pain, and it just kept coming and coming and coming. So we were thinking, you know what, this must be it. This must be it. So we flew down to the hospital, for like the 3rd time or the 4th time. We're like, hey, we're ready, I think. We're ready this time, pretty sure. The doctors did their little measurements, and now I don't know what the terminology exactly is, but we had to be like a certain diameter or whatever, and she was supposed to be like at a 4, and we were at like a 3, right? And they were like, yeah, you're not ready yet. You're close, but you're not ready yet. And the nurse was like, hey, you can help her out by, giving her a little. And all right, so one thing you need to know about me, during this whole entire pregnancy, I could not get in there. We couldn't do it, right? There's nothing in me I could not get in there, man. Just the thought there was a human being, growing inside her stomach, and it's my baby, and I didn't want, I didn't want my stuff near my baby and stuff. And of course, my friends would tell me, oh, that's messed up because she really is gonna want it during this pregnancy, and that's, blah, blah, and it's gonna help the pregnancy, and blah, blah, and you'll never ever touch it.
Racist.
Anyhow, so regardless of whatever, I never did, right? So we were like, so that the whole entire pregnancy, I couldn't do it. But we get home, and she's legit in pain. My baby mom is legit in pain, and she just, she can't sleep. We're lying in bed, she can't sleep. All I can hear her do is she's moaning, and she's, I can't. It hurts. And I'm like, damn, I gotta take one for the team, man. We did this, and I can't let her suffer that. So I'm like, you know what? All right. So I look at my baby mom, I'm like, hey, check this out. It's about to go down. We're about to do this. Are you ready? I'm throwing on all the cuts right now. I'm trying to do everything to help this mood. She's excited. Oh yes, we're about to do it. Blah blah blah. Clothes come off. All right, let's do this. And 30 seconds later, boom, finished. Right? Mind you, it's been like a freaking year, So yeah, 30 seconds later, boom, we're finished. And I swear to you, like magic, contractions, bang, 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 one after another. The girth split that diameter, right? So we're like, okay, this must be it, right? So we get back in the car, we're shooting back down the hospital, and turns out this time it's going down. This time the doc's like, yeah, great job. All right, you ready to do this, right? So we're in there, right? Now, the doc, when during the pregnancy, or when we're about ready to have this baby, and the doc, she comes in wearing this full hazmat suit, and this is pre-COVID, so I'm looking like, what's going on? It's like zombie apocalypse ready. She comes walking in, And I'm like, oh shit, it's going down, right? And she's like, okay, you guys ready to do this? And we're like, yeah, man, we've been waiting all day. Let's go, let's get this going. And so she's like, all right, so everybody take your positions, right? So my mom's up here. She's like, yeah, okay, I got the leg. And the assisting nurse is like, okay, I got the other leg. And my baby mom's mom was like, all right, I'm in the background taking the photos. So then they all look at me, right? And I'm like, well, I'd never done this before, so I don't know what positions are left open, right? So I'm sitting there like, I don't know what to do. And the doc's like, well, do you want to help me deliver the baby? And I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm thinking, I've seen a lot of doctor movies or some hospital movies, and you got the little doctor assistant where they're standing by the tray and they're passing her the scalpel and all the little knives and weapons and stuff, and taking the rag and petting the head, getting the sweat off their forehead. So I'm thinking, this is my position, right? So I put my gloves on, and the doc is like, you ready? And I'm like, yeah. And she goes, all right. So she sits next to the bed and she goes, go get your baby. And I'm like, what? And she's like, go get your baby. Now, if you don't know me, y'all don't have to tell me twice too many times, right? So I'm like, okay, right? So I take my position. I'm in between the legs. I'm getting ready. I'm in prep mode. I'm getting ready to catch this baby. And I'm just like waiting. She's like, so what do I do? And she's the doctor's just coaching me through this, right? She's like, when you see it peak, what you do is take your hand and go around the neck and make sure the umbilical cord isn't caught around the neck, right? And I'm like, cool, right? So my baby mom's pushing, and then sure enough, we see at the peak, right? This little itty bitty bump, boop, pops up, and I'm like, oh shoot, there it is. And she's like, get in there. So I take my fingers and I'm wrapping around this little itty bitty bump. Right? And I'm like, okay, it seems clear. And the doc's yelling at me. She's like, no, you got to get in there. Get in there. And I'm like, I'm in there. I'm around the head. And I'm literally feeling this bump. And I'm like all around this bump. And she's like, no, you got to stick your hand in there. Right? And we're going back at it. I'm yelling. I'm panicking. It's the first time I ever done this. And I'm like, yeah, I'm panicking. I'm in there, doc. I'm in there. So she gets in there. She's like, no, like this. And she sticks her hand in. And she's like, woof. And she's doing this. And I'm like, whoa, hey, violation, right? This lady just stuck her hand in there and did this swoop. And I'm like, okay, hold up, right? And she's like, now do it like that. And I'm like, support the head. And I'm like, okay. So I put my fingers in there again. Mind you, like I said, it was just a little bump, right? So my baby mom's pushing, right? She's pushing. I'm trying to support it. The doctor's yelling at me. And then out of freaking nowhere, out of this little hole, bop, this big old head popped up and it's just like this. And that blew me backwards, right? I'm like, what the hell? This big ass head came out of nowhere. Where did this head come from? This baby's she's just in a chokehold. But my baby mom is, right? Just. And the doctor's like, she's like, dude, get in there and check their neck. And I'm like, oh shoot. So doc gets in there. She clears the baby's neck, and she's like, okay, the umbilical cord is fine. Just grab the baby by the head, support the head, and just pull the baby out, right? And I regain myself, right? I regain my composure. I'm like, okay, boom. I stumble back in the game. Focus time, right? So I'm in there, and I grab the baby's head, and I grab the shoulders, and I just pull the baby out, right? And the baby just flies out like butter, bro, just right out. Whoop, whoop. And as I'm holding this baby, I see, mind you guys, all right, so this is part of the story, right? You guys should have known this from the beginning. We didn't know the gender, okay? We did not know the gender. I was so focused on manifesting the fact that I'm gonna have a baby boy. I'm gonna have a baby boy all year. I was telling everybody, I'm a baby boy. Baby shower came. Hey, I want you guys to buy stuff for my son. Right? Because to me, it's got to be a boy. It's got to be a boy. I can't handle a girl, right? So I pulled this baby out, whop, and then, the first thing I see is a penis, and I'm ecstatic. I raise this baby up, and I'm like, yes. And from looking underneath the baby, I see a vagina out of nowhere, and I'm like, oh shit, my baby's got both, right? My baby's got a penis and a vagina. So I pull my baby down, and then I can't find the penis. And it turns out that the umbilical cord is like fleshy from like here to there, right? It's like fleshy from there to there, and I must have mistaken that for a penis. So I'm in realization right now, I got myself a girl, right? And my whole body just like got light. The ground felt like it disappeared on one of my legs, just like fell through the floor. I'm freaking out. Now, when my baby mom tells this story, she likes to let people believe that I found out it was a girl, and I threw her onto my baby mom, and that is not how it went down. What happened was I was discombobulated. I was gonna faint, and I'm holding this baby, and my first duty as a dad was to protect my daughter, right? So I kind of like lateraled my daughter over to my baby mom, so that I can fall freely without risking injuring my daughter. And that's real. That's exactly what happened. I swear to you, I wasn't like mad and getting ready to spike my daughter on the ground and walk out, right? But that's not where this gets bad. That's not at all where this gets bad, okay? So I don't know, like the whole time that, you know, when I hear about people and they have their kids, the first thing they talk about is, oh, when my baby was born, it was the most beautifulest thing. I was instantly in love, and oh my God, she was so adorable, blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna be real with y'all, okay? So if you've never had a baby before, if you've never witnessed a pregnancy, I'm gonna be real. I'm here to help you guys right now. Shit, that's lies. Lies, lies, lies. When I looked at my baby, so I'm holding my baby, and my baby had this cone head, right? Because that was that little bump that I thought was her head. She had this little cone head and these big old eyeballs and these long ass skinny arms, right? She looked like Quado from Total Recall, the original, just that alien that popped out dude's chest. She was just, this is what my baby looked like, right? So the first thing that pops in my head is, oh shit, we got an alien baby. This is what I produce, right? This alien baby. But that ain't even the bad part still, right? So I'm looking at this baby, and this baby's lavender, right? And I'm like, hold up, I'm an islander, right? Brown and white don't make purple in no book. Plus my baby was bald, and she had these little hairs that grew out of her head, and they curled like this. And look at this. This is what I'm working with. And my baby mom got straight blonde hair, and I'm like, this is a black baby. This is a black baby. This could be my brother's baby. This ain't my baby. I'm brown, she's white. Brown, white don't make purple. That's my brother's baby, right? Or that's somebody's baby. That's a black person's baby. If we went on Maury right now, that'd be it. Like, look, color differences, right? So I'm holding this to myself, right? I'm like, ooh, I ain't about to set it off right now, not this moment. So I'm keeping to myself. My mom, everybody's, oh, the baby's so adorable, blah, 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 lies, right? And they give it, you know, they leave the room. They eventually leave the room, and they're like, okay, giving us our little space. So the first thing I look at my baby mom, and I'm an asshole for this, I know, but I look at my baby mom, I'm like, hey, we need to talk. That baby's black, right? And she's like, no, it's not. She's purple. And I'm like, no, that's a black person's baby. That ain't my baby, right? And, you know, she's like up and down. She's hurt. She just, you know, this was all brand new to her. And she's just like, what? You know, no, this is your baby. And she's in tears. People come back in the room. We don't talk about this, obviously. The mood's down. I'm an asshole, right? So they end up taking the baby away to go clean her up, right? And I'm up here looking at little black Quado's mom, and I'm like, hey, man, you know, hey, I'm gonna help you with this, though. I ain't just gonna leave you on the street. You and little black Quado, I'm not gonna leave you guys out on the street. I'm gonna help you guys with this until you guys find out what you guys need to do, blah, blah, blah. Man, after they cleaned up the baby and the baby came to, what I didn't know was, what I didn't think about was the baby was traveling through the insides of a human being, through the pelvis bone and all kinds of stuff to get out. And that would explain the little cone. That would explain the little cone head and the little, and the purple skin, right? So, because it was like, they were like losing, you know, they were losing air, whatever, blah, blah. So I had to shut the door. I got to finish the story. So anyways, so that's why the baby was purple, and that's why they got the little cone head. And when the baby came back, she was like light color. She was normal, and I'm looking like, oh shit, I'm a dick. Wow, holy cow, you know, all the bad stuff. My baby mom's looking at me and just disappointed. I had to tell my mom. Look, I didn't know these things, right? So after all said and done, you know, I'm like, okay, now I got little Caucasian Quado, and I'm a dad. You know, there's no mistaking, this is my baby. I signed the birth certificate, and you know what? I'm gonna tell you what, man. What may have been unplanned and accidental, to this day, man, there is a bond so strong between my daughter and I. You know, I may not have planned for this, and I may have been an asshole right off the bat, but I promise you, I've been making it up every single day, and I'm super grateful to be a dad to this day, and I love my daughter with all that I am. And I hope that you guys did enjoy this story. I love you guys all. Thank you guys for following, and you know, subscribe to the channel, like the channel, you know, we trying to make it. I'm trying to make it for her. Trying to, I need to buy her a theme park in her backyard, man. So you know, help brother out. Love you guys all. Hope you guys enjoyed the story. Peace.